Hey guys, it's Tim and James with Tabletop Terrors. You are watching our RPG a Day videos. This is day 28. What film or novel would you be most surprised that a friend had not seen or read, basically experienced? I think this is going to be an interesting one. So stay tuned.
So I have a baseline for this question.
Okay.
My baseline for this question is Michael Barker from Be a Better Game Master. The man, the myth, the legend.
My baseline for this question
is your 2-year-old daughter.
No. My baseline for this question is from Fleetwood Mac's The Chain. Boo, boo, doo, 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 doo.
If you keep going too far, where this is going to get flagged on YouTube. That sounded just like Fleetwood Mac.
Jack, keep us together.
I got me too good with that.
Right on the YouTubes. That's who we did. That's funny. If you keep going, you're going to get flagged.
Michael Barker from Be a Better Game Master, very good friend of ours. We're constantly surprised by what movies he hasn't seen. Clearly, he had a little bit of a different upbringing.
I like that you brought it down to his childhood raising.
Really, because
he was raised different than most.
We didn't say we were going to make this video short, but I'm about to make it long.
Can I go somewhere?
No, you can't. You got to change the
stuff. I gotta do.
You got to change the screen when I need to look at it.
Okay,
the most crucial time. Go. No. Okay. So. The reason I brought it to that as briefly as I can is when we talked about it, it's like I realized that movies that were around when I was a kid, like that we owned, those are the movies you watch the most. If you had a shelf of movies, those are the movies where I used to watch Beverly Hillbillies all the time. I have no idea where we got that VHS.
I don't know.
But it was on
probably a yard sale.
Exactly. But because, there wasn't Netflix or streaming services or even DVDs. I mean, we're talking about VHS here.
You ready for the thumbs down machine gun right now?
Betamax.
I think that's why I never got huge into Star Wars until literally just recently.
That is the exact reason. We never owned it. We never owned Star Wars. But that is a very good example.
My dad was a huge Star Trek fan, and he didn't dislike Star Wars. We just never owned the movies.
We just never... It never made its way into our collection.
I hear people talk about how they're like, I was standing in my living room in my diapers watching the Star Destroyer, and I'm like, didn't have that.
And again, I feel like just like we haven't seen Star Wars, and Barker hasn't seen a lot of films that... integral for us.
Hold on. We have at this point. Before that becomes all of the comments.
We hadn't seen Star Wars in our childhood.
Growing up, it wasn't a huge
eventually
part of
saw it. Certainly not in diapers. I did eventually see it when a friend of mine brought it over, and I've seen it plenty of times.
It's really sad, though, because his friend was in diapers. Terrible accent.
I'm just imagining him in diapers now.
I know. He got his legs back, though. Right?
Well, how did he...
He's in a ninja kicking contest.
How did he get paralyzed, Tim?
American Gladiators.
No, that's not the line. The line is... Oh. You will not be able to say it, so I'm going to say it. No, okay. Cool it there, Chauncey. So, we were playing touch football, and he fell off the roof. You...
Do it.
I tried. You said the line and made me laugh. We were playing touch football, and... he fell off the roof. That's from a movie, I think.
It is. So it had Josh Hartnett in it. It's something called like New Jersey or something.
I've never seen it, but that line gets me.
Here's the trick. Here's the trick with that movie is that it's not a funny movie. That's the part they show.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, it's not.
No, it's a dramedy. It's a drama. There's like
a
couple funny parts.
But really, to get back at the topic on hand, to get back to the topic at hand. It all depends on what you grew up with, I think. So, even with him as a baseline, movies that I'm like, wow, I'm surprised you haven't seen, would be, for me, Lord of the Rings. If you're somebody that I played fantasy tabletop role-playing games with, I would be surprised if you hadn't seen Lord of the Rings. I'd be a little surprised if you hadn't read it, depending on your age.
Sure.
But more surprised if I'm like, listen, like, that's not, to me, that's not like, oh man, you gotta see that. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Like, you have to.
Like, let's
stop
do that.
What you're doing.
Like, I'm not like, oh, yeah, you should see that eventually. I'm like, when can you come to my house so we can watch
exactly.
that? That, for me, is the film and novel that I'd be most surprised that a friend hadn't seen or read.
Here's mine. It'll
3
be
films.
It'll be shorter than you think. With the current state of society and pop culture having so many comic book movies, I'm always really surprised when someone hasn't seen a flagship big tentpole release from Marvel.
Okay, yeah.
So I get it if someone doesn't see even like Ant-Man, which to me is like, it was awesome, it was great.
I don't call it flagship, yeah. That's
that
not
to me
like...
it's a cool movie, even like Doctor Strange that's coming out.
Here's the way I would phrase that. If when I say, have you seen Ant-Man? Somebody says, who's Ant-Man? But people don't say, who's Captain America?
Exactly. So,
most people
to
don't.
me, those
people
huge summer tentpole films like The Avengers, that's a big one. There's a guy at work who's like, yeah, I really never, just not into superhero movies, which is fair, but I'm always surprised.
Yeah.
Because most people will just kind of check them out anyway because they're around.
It's the summer movie.
Right, and they're popular.
Exactly.
And
that, I feel like Transformers got a lot of watches for that reason. I mean, I know it's Transformers, but I mean, they have like 5 of those now.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Like, well, it's a summer movie about big old robots fighting other robots.
Oh, dude, and when people
are going to go see it.
Right. And when they're like, there's so many plot holes, I was like, wait, hold on. There's a story in between those robots punching each other? I signed up for the Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
I was going to say, that was Godzilla for me. People are like, I didn't really like the story. I'm like, this focused a lot on Godzilla. Like,
which
really, that was all.
Key.
I was like, the fact that it had a story at all was interesting. And then it had Bryan Cranston. That was cool.
Right? That was... We'll talk about that offline.
I don't know where flying is. So...
Offline, it's French.
Definitely. Oh, so were you going to say something else? Because I was going to say something else.
Were you?
I wasn't. No, I was wrapping up. I lied.
Wrap it up. Comments. What about you below? You down there. Man, we're so giggly. Which is it's kind of funny because when we're giggly and film all the videos for a week,
the giggly goes. Like, it just it is a through line.
They were 7 days of giggly. Comment below, what is the film or novel that you're surprised that your friends haven't seen?
And we'll comment and say if we've seen or read it. Film or novel.
Totally.
Because I'm sure there are plenty that we haven't.
And it does matter, depending on your group of friends. Like you were saying, your upbringing. Like, for you and your friends, you might have seen everything, but you're surprised they haven't seen one particular anime.
Exactly.
Because you all love anime so much. So, what is that for you? Be sure to subscribe. I never know where I'm going to be. Subscribe to our channel, like this video, and comment below, and tell them about how they can be a part of BrigadeCon.
So, you can sign up to be a brigadier general in the Royal Air Force.
Scramble the A-10s.
Was that Boss Nass plus
it was
Charles Whitmore?
It was kind of like Charles Whitmore's the dude from Lost.
No. This is really that's the one.
Same guy. Funny story.
No, BrigadeCon.org is an online gaming convention where you can watch people play games, join in games, watch people run games, and other people play in them. There are giveaways, there are panels, and that's on October 29th. Completely free, and all of the proceeds that are made go to Child's Play, the charity. So it's definitely really cool. October 29th. Go to BrigadeCon.org to learn more and to sign up.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for tuning into this. We are looking forward to seeing you at BrigadeCon. And until next time, may your dice roll high.